Welcome into Garnet and Gold Grub, presented by Tico People's Gas. I'm Catherine Phillips, alongside award-winning Chef Travis Johnson. He's the Executive Culinary Director of Seminole Dining here at FSU, and he's going to walk us through a delicious game day recipe using natural gas. Chef, what do you have for us today?
So this is what I'm going to call our Seminole Chili. I love college football, and so if I'm not watching it or working one of the games, then I am out making chili at my house. And so I like to come up with a lot of different blends, and we've come up with one today featuring some Seminole beef, a variety of local beans, some good spices, and fresh herbs and aromatics. We're going to put all that together today to have a wonderful chili. And what's better than chili during football?
I think this is a lot of people's go-to football meal.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and get started. I have my cast iron. I've heated up a little bit. I'm going to add a little bit of oil, and I'm going to start with my dry spices. Now, a lot of people will take their dry spices and add them at the end. Adding them at the beginning with a little bit of warm oil is going to bring out a lot more of the flavor and essence in the spices if you're using dry. So I like to start. I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper in here and some chili powder, a little bit of cayenne, not much. Pick it up a little bit. I like paprika. It's one of my favorite dry herbs. Gives it good color. And then we're going to use some granulated onion and a little granulated garlic.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. And we'll finish with some cumin. Don't be afraid if you need to add a little bit more oil to it. And typically I would let these cook 5 to 10 minutes or so. Okay. And then my next step is I would go to my beef. And today we're just using, typically a good 80-20 mixture is good because you get some good fat content, and it's also still fairly lean. Gotcha. So we're gonna add our beef. I think you can get really creative. If a typical chili to you always has beef in it, use chicken, use pork. You can even use like a vegetarian patty. There's a lot of different versions of chili that you can make.
Is beef your favorite?
Beef's my favorite because it's kind of that simple go-to.
The classic.
It is. So let's go ahead and add some of these spices. So we're going to start with our onions. The total cook time of the chili for preparation is usually about 20-25 minutes. But if you want it really good, you let it go all day.
Right.
So I always say the chili's okay for those 11 o'clock games, but when you get down to prime time at night,
that's
it's even better. Yes. All right, so the onions are in. The onions have a chance to caramelize. We're gonna let those cook until they get a little translucent in color. And then we're gonna fold in some of our peppers. So we start with just our traditional red and green bell peppers. Really more for body and color. They're gonna bring a little bit of flavor to the game.
And we're working with natural gas, so what's the benefit of that for you?
The natural gas is great because, especially when I'm making a chili, I'm gonna need a lot of different ranges of heat. So when I add my initial ingredients, I want that to be high heat so it sautés and caramelizes those onions. But as this cooks for those 5-6 hours in the afternoon, I'm gonna want that just on a nice low heat so it can simmer and continue to bring out the flavor in the chili. All right, so those peppers have now been cooking for about 5-7 minutes. They started to cook down. Now we're gonna add a little heat to it. So this is where we get into our serrano peppers and our poblanos. And again, this is gonna add just a little bit of heat. We won't add all. There's our serranos.
So these are spicy, but not jalapeno level.
The serranos are a little spicier than a jalapeno.
Really?
And the poblanos a little bit less.
Okay.
Allow that to cook down. Now while that's cooking, we're gonna go ahead and add our beer because we want the beer as flavor, but we don't want the effects of the alcohol. We wanna leave the flavor, but we wanna cook out the alcohol itself. So we're gonna add that in now. And what it's gonna do is infuse that beer flavor. And we just used a really nice local proof amber beer. You can choose whatever your favorite beer is. Okay. It might be one that you're enjoying that day. And now that we've married a lot of those flavors, now we want to go ahead and add our beans. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and add
Just put them all in together?
Just put them all in together. Add our black beans and our white garbanzo, and then traditional pinto chili bean. And we'll go ahead and work these beans in. And right now I still have that heat on kind of a medium high because I'm still bringing all those flavors together, but I'm getting real close to dropping that down on low. We'd go ahead and cover this, let it cook for about an hour or so. Okay. And then right before we're ready to serve, we'll come out with our fire roasted tomatoes, fold those in. What do you think?
Very colorful.
Very colorful, a lot of layers, good flavors. And then to top the chili off, we have our scallions, our fresh parsley. You can go back on with our cheddar cheese, a little bit of sour cream, our teardrop tomatoes, and you can
We
serve.
even have the bread bowl.
Oh, right, yeah. Just for fun, let's go ahead and build one in the bread bowl as well.
All right.
Smells absolutely wonderful.
It does.
And finish this with just a little bit of cheese and a dollop of sour cream.
Perfect.
And now you're set. And what's great is while you're watching the game, you can let the chili just rest on low on the stove, come in and out during halftime, during a break, and it's a great treat all day long.
So just leave it there all day.
All day, and it gets better as it goes on.
That's awesome. Well, for full details on this recipe and more information on how you can incorporate natural gas at home, at your business, or at your next tailgate event, go to peoplesgas.com/cooking.